Welcome back to our cottage garden, and it's the end of summer now, which means it's time to do our annual orchard harvest. So we've got about 5 or 6 apple trees. Most of them are eating apples, so we're going to be picking those. We've got a cooking apple tree and we've got a pear tree that's ready as well. We've got a couple of other things that aren't quite ready. So we've got a fig tree. It doesn't look like we've got any figs that got big enough to ripen, excluding the one that I ate last week. And we've also got a quince tree, which won't be ready until October time, so we'll come back for the quince tree. But we've got plenty of apples to pick. We've had a really good year for apples. Last year we struggled a bit with the late frosts. It meant that the flowers were getting frosted off and then the fruit couldn't develop, so we actually had a couple of trees that didn't fruit at all last year, but I think that gave them a good rest, and this year they're back with a lot of vigour and we have a lot of fruit to pick. So we've done half a tree so far and we've filled this crate already. We're also going to pick the pears, and the pear tree's looking a little bit on the sad side because it didn't like the heat wave that we had. It lost a lot of its leaves, but thankfully the fruit didn't fall off. The fruit's still looking really good. So we're going to go ahead and pick those, and then we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with all of these apples and pears, because we haven't quite nailed our storage system yet. So we'll probably make some apple puree with them, so that will last a while in jars, and then we'll make some crumbles. We might freeze some, but if you have any suggestions, we would love to hear them, because we've got a lot to use up. We might end up sharing some of these with our friends as well. We had a couple of apple trees that didn't make it through the heat wave. I think they've gone into dormancy early, so hopefully next year they'll come back and they'll be okay. But those are the youngest two, and those are called Red Windsor, I think. They're a red, really sweet eating apple, like a dessert apple. We've got the cooking apple tree, which doesn't have a lot of fruit on it this year. I think it only has 2 apples looking at it now. And I knocked one of them off yesterday, so we might just get 1 apple from the cooking apple tree. But the eating apple trees that have been here probably over 10 years are looking really good and really healthy, and they survived the heat wave fine, which is a relief. You'll also notice that we've started clearing this space. So in my previous video, I showed you how overgrown this was. We've started to tackle it. We haven't quite finished, but you'll notice that there is a really big difference. So one of the problems we're having in this area is that because we only cut it back once a year, the more invasive weeds like the ivy and the brambles are really starting to take over. So we're going to get on top of that this year, hopefully, and then we might in future start cutting the grass down twice a year just to try and get on top of things like brambles. And the ivy, we're just going to have to pull it out by hand. It's going to be quite a lot of work, but we will leave a little bit because it's great for insects and pollinators. And the ground is super uneven, so you can fall over quite easily here. You've got to be a bit careful, and it's difficult to get a lawnmower up as well. So the way that you know the pears or the apples are ready is that when you twist or snap them, they come away from the tree quite easily. And you notice with the pears that they do still feel quite firm on the outside, but you don't want to leave it until they feel soft, because then they'll be overripe. So pears ripen from the inside out, so you want to pick them while they feel firm, because if you pick them when they're completely ripe, they won't last long at all, and they might even be too far gone, and then you've lost all of your pears. So this year I think we've got the timing right with them. I just tried one and it was really nice. We've also got more than we've ever had, despite the pear tree not enjoying the heat wave. So that's the harvest from our pear tree and half of our apple tree. We've still got a long way to go. But if you're interested in following our cottage garden journey, please give us a subscribe, and you can also support our development of the garden on Patreon as we build the garden up over time. But this is an amazing pear harvest. I'm so pleased with this, and considering we've had quite a rubbish year for fruit and veg elsewhere in the garden, this really makes up for that. So we've got 3 apple trees left. We're going to go ahead and pick these ones, and I've got another basket because we've filled up what we've got so far. So let's get on with picking from these 3 trees. So some of these apples are in better condition than others, and I think the mistake we made last time when it came to storing them was we stored them all together, and the ones that were on their way to rotting contaminated the better ones. So this year we're going to separate out the ones that don't look great and probably make some apple juice or apple cider vinegar with those ones, and then we'll keep the good conditioned ones in a nice spacious box with lots of gaps so that we can store them and use them over the coming months. So these are the last apples off our second apple tree. We've still got 2 to go and we're definitely going to need more baskets, so I'm going to go and see what I can find. But that was a really good harvest from this tree. I don't think this one gave us any apples last year, so it's a good improvement. And we don't do much to look after these at all. I prune them once in a while in winter, but I didn't prune them last year. So I'll probably go ahead and do that in the following season, just to give them a little bit of space between the branches. But they're just a really rewarding plant to have in the garden, and super happy with how it's going so far. Good boy! It doesn't look like there's too many fruits on the third apple tree, so that's kind of lucky. We've got more than we need so far. I'm just going to pick these, but they look lovely and ripe, and some of them are really gorgeous red colour, like that one. These are the ones that I'd prefer eating, and then I'll bake with the other ones. Short and sweet for tree number 3. Just filled up the end of this basket, so we're going to need to find another basket for the last tree, which is our best one. So we ran out of baskets for this tree, so I've just put one together with a paper bag, just as a temporary solution until we figure out how we're going to store them. It should be fine. So here you go, this is our 2022 autumn orchard harvest. We've had a really good year for apples and pears. Not a great year for figs, but hopefully next year will be better. If you have any recipe suggestions, do let us know, because as you can see, we've got a lot that we're going to need to be cooking and preserving and using up. We probably will share a few of these as well, because I don't think we will get through this many. And stay tuned, give us a subscribe, because next time we're going to be planting bulbs in the garden. We've got loads of tulips, daffodils, crocuses, and we're going to be sharing our plans for spring with you. So I can't wait to share that. Do give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.